Yeah, hello guys, I'm Sunil. So today we'll start with Spring Boot security. Uh, so first we'll try to cover the starting three approaches. One is default security and custom security, and third one is in memory. Okay, so we'll try to cover these three. Okay, yeah, guys, am I audible properly? Sumant, and my screen is fine, right? It's visible, right? Okay, okay. Uh, yeah. So Spring Boot security. Right, guys, yesterday I have already told you. So what are the, you know mm, the main aspect of security for what we are studying, the main two aspects of security? Yes, correct. Authentication and authorization. And so if there is an API, okay, so it is like, till now we have designed some APIs. Those APIs are open source, that means anyone can, access that, right? That API, correct. But from now on, we'll block certain users. Okay, will allow only eligible users. Okay, like that. Okay. Now, Sumant, you tell me what is authentication and what is authorization exactly. Check. Yes, yes, yes. We have to check whether the user is valid or not. Am I correct? Ramakrishna, you tell me what is authorization. Can you go for in a bit brief? Tell me. Yeah. See, basically, yeah, correct. Authentication means, suppose if there are five users, okay, accessing that resource. Suppose if the five users, their credentials are correct. That means their username and password is correct. Okay. They, all the five users were able to log into that, were able to log in. Am I correct, guys? But the thing is, in that portal, in that, there are multiple APIs. Okay. So I told yesterday the manager is allowed to access all the APIs. But as an employee level, they were allowed to certain APIs only. They were allowed to access only certain APIs. As a HR, he or she is allowed to access certain APIs. Am I correct? Right? So what we can write to check. Sumant, is that fine? To check whether the user is eligible for certain API or not. Okay. Other matter. Guys, so far is that clear? Let me open the paint and draw the high level block diagram of security. Okay. Sumant, can you recollect what I told yesterday? What happens if there are security jars and what happens if there are no security jars? Correct, correct, correct. Yeah. So if there are security jars, first they will divert to the login page. Each AP will divert to the login page. Once the credentials are correct, then they will divert to the resource. If they are failed, again it will divert to the login page by saying invalid username and password. Am I correct? For that, we'll go with a high level block diagram. Am I correct? Okay. Give me two minutes. Let me complete that. Okay. So this is our resource. Am I correct? So in this, we can see our controller layer, our controller layer. So where can I increase size? Yeah, correct, correct. Sorry, controller. Yeah. So let me make it bold and 18. Okay. Yeah. And here, controller, service, DAO, everything. Okay. Like that, I think there is no need to write much, but let me write. DAO. Okay. Then what else? Service. Okay. Then a database. Am I correct? So the entry point is always controller. Am I correct? So if there are no security jars, okay, see, there will be always a bootstrap class, right? And by default, what is my bootstrap class in Spring Boot? Correct. Okay. So this is my bootstrap class. Bootstrap class. Okay. Once the endpoint reaches this bootstrap class, if there is an security jar, it will move it to, if it will move, it will make sure that endpoint divert to the login page. If there are no security jars, the endpoint divert to controller layer. Am I correct, Sumant? Antena? What is that? Sorry. Yeah. What I'm trying to say, if there are security jars, okay, in the class path, the endpoint will divert to the login page. If there are no security jars, directly the endpoint will divert to the controller layer. Am I correct? From the bootstrap class. Okay. So please have some patience. I know you guys are aware, but security jars. Okay. So once the security jars are there, it should move to the login page, right? The flow should go through the login page. Am I correct? Okay. Login page, right? So, so the bootstrap class will go to the security jar, then it should move to the login page, right? And from here, it will move to the that application resource. Am I correct? Bad at drawing pictures. Okay, this way. But what happens if my security jars are not there? Suman, correct. So we'll write here if my security jars are not there. Okay, it will directly go to the controller layer. So this is the basic point, okay, of the security. Am I correct? I think in yesterday's class, I think you guys might be aware of this thing. Am I correct? So if security jars are not there in class path, am I correct? అంతే కదా అది సో the endpoint come from where, guys? What are the multiple sources that endpoint, the source of endpoint, the endpoint might origin? What are the multiple sources? Anyone? Yes, correct. So postman is one thing, right? And what else? Correct, correct. From front end, so postman, okay, Chrome, am I correct? And any third party tool, okay, not and Swagger, చాలా ఉన్నాయి, okay, not only postman, okay. Often Swagger వాడతాం. Yeah, many things, yeah, SOAP UI, okay, and Angular, okay. So they will ask in interview, how come how you will connect the Angular with the backend. So in that you need to say HTTP client. Okay, from Angular there is a concept of HTTP client. So from HTTP client we used to connect the Spring Boot. Okay, right? And from React we'll connect to the Spring Boot by using Access. Okay, Access. Okay, as I was aware of both Angular and React, so that's why I was able to tell these two things. Okay, so in Angular we use the concept of HTTP client. Okay, client to connect with the Spring Boot backend. And React, we use the concept of access, okay, to connect with the backend, okay, backend API, okay. This is so these many ways we can hit our endpoint, okay. So anyway, whatever the source you are doing, it should reach to the bootstrap class only. Am I correct? Adanamata, okay. So this is the high level flow of the security, guys. Is that clear so far? Okay. Now let us, and by the way, the default. my God. But default bootstrap class is dispatcher servlet. Am I correct? So I won't write over here, but please keep that point in mind. Okay. Okay. Let me save this picture. So security overview, right? Other one. Okay. So yeah, that is about everything, guys. Okay, that's the high level overview. Okay. Now let us start with our applications. Am I correct? So right. Uh, what are the three first three approaches, guys, of security? Correct. Default security. Default security. Right. Second one, custom security. Am I correct? And third one, in-memory authentication. Okay. And how many users for default security? It's for specifically for, yes, it's for only one user. Okay. Because see, if you take any application, there might be 10 users, 20 users, or if you take some application like Facebook, Instagram, there might be millions of users, right? But this, if you go with the default security, you can yeah, give access to the only one user per application. Okay, it's for only one user. Okay, and Sumant, can you tell me, is authentication, authorization both are possible or only authentication? Yes, only authentication is possible here. Okay, you cannot, based on the role, you cannot give the access. Okay, that's it. Okay, now let us see this default security. Okay, just a minute, guys. Okay, we'll try to cover these three methods today. Okay, will take a bit long time if possible. Okay, yeah, we make sure that it will complete today, all the three. I don't think it will take much time. Yeah, I think below 1 hour only will complete the course. Oh God. But this HP, after using the Dell laptop for many years, I don't feel that much flexible actually. This with HP laptop. What do you guys feel? And I feel it is delicate actually. So we'll clone some application. Okay. I think here Git bash is not there. Let me install fastly. Just a minute, guys. Git bash. Start. It's very small software only. 7. Give me 2 minutes. It will install. Okay. Yeah. So first we'll complete the first two approaches. Okay. For the first two approaches, there won't be any coding. But we don't need to write any coding. We just need to add one jar file. Guys, can you tell me what was that jar file? By using which dependency I can generate that jar file? Exactly. I want that exact name. Spring Starter Security. Okay. 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 And guys, I want to discuss something. Okay. which I haven't discussed yesterday. So basically, it is a trainer responsibility to tell before actually, okay, what are the things the framework is providing and what are the things a developer as a developer we need to provide. Okay, let us discuss those points first. Okay, before moving to the security approaches. Yeah, finish. It's done. Okay, okay. So let us discuss over here. Okay, this is the first approach. Okay, default security the first approach, right? And custom security the second approach, and third one. Okay. First, before going to these three approaches, we'll see what is the role of a framework and what is the role of a developer. Okay. Let us see those. Okay. Framework. Right. The first point is the framework will provide the jars. Security jars will be provided. Okay. You are for a developer, there is no need to create a jar file. Okay. Okay. And every request coming from the front end or Angular or React or Postman will intercept at the Bootstrap class. Am I correct? Okay. Next, redirection. Okay. I told you earlier, if there is a security jar, that will be redirected to the login page. Am I correct? So redirection to login page will be done by the framework only. Okay, guys, is the 3 points clear? Done by framework itself. Okay. Next, and as a developer, for you there is no need to write a logic to validate whether my username and password is correct. Okay, right? So this verification of username and password will be done by framework only. Am I correct? Username and password will be done by the framework only. Okay. See, my feeling is we can go for 80% of the things the framework only will provide. Okay. Even so in the last company which I worked, no, for us, first we go with the JWT, okay, in our project. So all the code, the developers we used to get from the internet only, and we used to do small modifications only. Okay, okay. So there is nothing more to stress actually here. But if you take JDBC JSP, so 3 to 4 years back, while in Wipro, I was trained in JSP and JDBC. Okay, that is outdated now in the market. So there we need to write a screen to design a login page, and there we need to write a logic to validate. Okay, so everything we need to manually write. Okay, but here it's not the case. Guys, is that clear? What I'm trying to convey? Okay, so that is the power of Spring Boot. Okay, next. No, 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 not at all using JDBC, JSP, servlets, outdated. Okay, those three comes in advanced Java. Advanced Java is outdated now. Okay, even if you take any institutions, Maitri Vanam or they won't teach now. Okay, they're directly coming from core Java to Spring Boot, and Spring Core is also nowhere we are using now. Spring Core, Spring Core also nowhere we are using. Okay, very rare Spring Core, but advanced Java is outdated now. And I told you, Sumant, can you tell me what is the reason of moving from JDBC to ORM frameworks? I told you clearly in the data JPA class, in the starting class. Can you recollect that? Hmm. Ramakrishna, you? That is the key point, guys. See, if the username and password is success, it will redirect to the resource, else it will redirect to the login page. Am I correct? Sumant, I asked you a question. Tell me that. Try that. Not able to recollect, huh? Ramakrishna, can you tell me? So I told what is the reason of moving from JDBC to ORM frameworks like Data JPA or Hibernate? I told you one main point. Yes, loose coupling, correct. But can you be more precise? The meaning. What do you mean by loose coupling in that context? See, basically, what I told, suppose for this project, suppose I'm working on a project, right? At this point of time, I'm using some Oracle database. But after 1 year exactly, my client requirement has changed. They said that can you please go with the MongoDB or NoSQL or Postgres? Okay. Then in JDBC, we need to write SQL queries in the Eclipse, in the Java files, right? So if your database is changed, you need to change the queries again. So which is in which there is no loose coupling, right? So loose coupling in the sense, if you're changing the database, our Java code is not supposed to affect, right? That's a loose coupling. But here there is no loose coupling. That's why in JPA, if you observe, I haven't written any query in the Java files. Am I correct? So we have used a derived approach, and we have used what is that native query and native query. Okay, those are very common. Okay, not very common to the all the database. Okay, which is not specific. Okay, right. Okay, let us get back to the topic. Okay. So as a framework, what it will do, I have need to written. But as a developer, what we need to do? Any guys, can you tell me some points at least? What we need to do as a developer? First point, yesterday only I told them clearly. So how you will configure it? By writing in the pom.xml. Am I correct? Writing, writing security related artifact or security related dependency in the pom.xml. Am I correct? So this is a role of a developer. Am I correct? Next, this point I haven't told yesterday. You need to create authentication and authorization object, guys. So basically, authentication and authorization object created by the framework, you need to populate. Let me tell you clearly. Okay. Authentication. Today we'll see this importance. Okay. And authorization. Authentication and authorization objects are created by the framework, and as a developer we need to populate the values. And you know what I mean to say here. So the so and so user having a so and so password, and his role is so and so, like that. So what? How many users you want to populate? You need to mention them. Okay, right, guys? Am I clear? So if you see in the first two methods, there is only single user. But in the method three, you can go for any number of users. But you can go for certain 10, 20 like that. You can go. Okay. And again, this method is not suitable for thousands of users. Okay. For that, we'll go for next one. Okay. So this method, ఎక్కడ suitable అవుతుంది అంటే wherever suppose if you take if you take any rural banks, there are very few people, right? Only 3 to 4 employees, right? And only 50 to 100 records. Am I correct in that bank? So in that way, in that type of situation, we go for this in-memory authentication. Am I correct, guys? Okay. Yeah. Please be active. Okay. So as a developer, need to populate the users. Am I correct? Users in authentication object. Okay. In authorization object, you need to create the rules. Okay, Antena? And suppose admin has an access of all the resources, and manager has access of certain resources, like that. Okay. An authorization object. Not do like this. That's certain rules, right? Okay. So these three are the work of a developer. Okay. And need to follow certain guidelines. Okay. And you are not allowed to write whatever you want. You need to follow certain guidelines. Okay. And the framework, whatever the framework is giving, you need to use them properly. Okay. That's what I'm trying to mention here. Okay, need to follow certain guidelines. I think this topic I haven't covered yesterday, right? Yes. So yeah, in the overall, you can say 80%, 70 to 80% provided by the framework only. Mhm. Only 20 to 30% as a developer you need to perform. Okay, this is how beautiful the Spring security is. Okay, we need to provide. Okay, as a developer. Okay, developers need to write. Okay, other point. Okay, so let us start. Okay, for first first three layers of security mechanisms. Okay. CMD. So let me open CMD from CM documents. Okay. Bro. Git clone. First, let me clone. Yeah, I have done with my cloning. So let me import that project into Eclipse. Okay. Yeah. See, it is slowly trying to get all the imports which are there in my ambient repository to the class path. Okay. Okay. That's it. Now, yeah, it is updating the project. Yeah. So quickly we'll complete starting two approaches. Then we'll go for in-memory authentication. Okay. The first two approaches are so easy. Okay. Okay. So yeah, you can see here tickets, controller, DAO, model, and service. So guys, what is the dependency I need to add in the popular XML file as a developer? I just mentioned, right? Correct. So just go to MVN repository. Okay. Spring. Guys, it is not a security core. Okay, it is Spring Starter security. Okay, don't confuse. Okay, guys, this is this is Spring Boot Security 3.3.2. Okay, so basically, so see, actually, let me share my experience here. See, Spring Boot 2.7 work till 2.7 is one level, and security 2. After 2.7 it is one more level. And then this 3 this 3.x or 2.7 above, it will disturb a lot of things actually. Okay, so in our project, okay, after in 1.5 year, 2 years back in Optum. Okay, sorry, I was not supposed to say. Okay, so basically there before we have done our application with the 2.5 something around. Okay, but later our requirement has changed. Okay, we moved to 3.x, then lot of things has changed, guys. Okay, so you need to handle those things also in the project level. Okay, so if you're going with 3.x, lot of things will disturb. Okay, and so whatever the inbuilt classes which we are using as part of 3.x, some are deprecated. Okay, so basically deprecated as a practice we can use, but in the company level we can't use because lot of vulnerabilities, security patches, lot of things will come. Okay, critical fixes అని చాలా వస్తాయి. Okay, guys, is that clear? What I'm trying to say అర్థమవుతుందా రామకృష్ణ? సో నేను చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే లైక్ 2.7 కన్నా పైకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు యూ నీడ్ టు మేక్ ష్యూర్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్. ఓకే, బట్ ఇన్ ప్రాక్టీస్ వి నో నీడ్ టు బోదర్ మచ్, బట్ ఇట్ విల్ వర్క్ ఇన్ ప్రాక్టీస్. బట్ ఇన్ industry level, if it is working, it is not enough, guys. They will say, they will see any security vulnerabilities are coming as part of your code, or any critical fixes are generated as part of your code. All your JUnit test cases are running properly as part of your code. Lot of things, guys. Okay. See, believe me, as a developer, you won't write the code much actually. You will do these things only. Writing JUnits, fixing vulnerabilities for the code, upgrading to 3.x, itlant way. Okay. These things only you will do as a developer. Okay. Mostly because unless the project is building from the scratch, then only you'll get to, you'll get this, you'll write it from the scratch. Otherwise, you need to do these things only. Okay. But in my last company, I was so fortunate to have a project which we developed from the scratch. Because of that only, I come to know a lot of practical things. Yeah, fine. Let's get back to our work. So, why it's giving error? May I have an update project? Guys, are you able to follow today? Thank you. Okay, chalo. And as we have a as we have this, so let me array here. Something is coming. Let me start the project. I think some issue with the configurations. Let me check. Yeah, luckily it started. Okay. See, guys. See, once we added that Spring Starter security, so you can go to the Maven dependencies and see that the security jar is coming to the class path. See, these are all the dependencies by default are there. So these are all the dependencies which are there in the class path. They are reflecting over here. Okay. So these are all the dependencies which are present in the class path of my project. Okay. So if you go down, see Jackson, guys, what will my Jackson will do, guys? Anyone? This is one of the important interview question. Ramakrishna? See, basically in our postman, we used to send a JSON, right? But in our controller layer, we used to have a Java object. Am I correct? So that JSON object is mapped to Java object. Am I correct? And if while returning, we just return a Java object. Am I correct? In the controller layer. But in the postman, you'll see a JSON response. Am I correct? So this JSON to Java object and Java object to JSON. This this will be done by Jackson. Okay, conversion. Okay, na? There will be some particular name actually for I forgot. I often forgot that name. Okay, yeah, but that mechanism will be done by Jackson and Jakarta. We use in the data JP most frequent. Am I correct? Yes. Okay, guys. See the same thing Java X also is supposed to do what the Jakarta is doing, but Java X is not suitable for 3.x. Okay, because these things as you move to the project, no, you will come to know. Okay, lot of things. Okay, more practical things and JUnits. Okay, log4j we'll see in the upcoming classes, and Mongo is for JUnits again. SL4j. Okay, we'll see SnakeML. Okay, Spring Starter J Data JPA, JDBC, JSON security. See, this is the security which we have added just now. Okay, guys, Sumant, are you following? And web means at the rate service, at the rate repository, at the rate these things will come. Okay, these things are part of this web. Okay, and auto configure means at that auto wired. Okay. ORM means I think you guys are aware. Okay. Right. That's it. Okay. Right. See, the password is already generated. Okay. So as this is the default security, the password is in the default security, the password will be generated automatically. And the username is Sumant. Can you tell me what is the username for default security? User. Ante kada? For default security, user and password is auto generated. Okay. Guys, make sure this point in your mind. Guys, if you observe carefully, your default security filter chain will point to the application.yaml file. Okay, am I correct? And your default security filter here it will directly giving the username and password. Am I correct? Password is auto generated. Okay, so let me hit. Guys, what will be my endpoint? API v2 DB, right? Am I correct? Guys, as I'm using H2 database, if even if I persist also, you know, okay, I can persist. Yeah, just a minute. AP local. Let me open the Postman array. Postman not there. Okay, let me access this get mapping only. Okay, get all. Okay, find all. Okay, see localhost 8080 slash API slash what is that v2 slash ala. Guys, we are missing somewhere. 8081 8081 API v2 and save all records is fine. Okay, first we'll hit save all records. Okay, because by default we can persist some records. Am I correct, Sumant? But the post mapping, you can't go with the browser. Let me check whether she had installed Postman or not. Yeah, luckily we have a Postman also. Okay. Localhost 8 mapping. Sorry. Basically, we have a security layer, right? First, we need to authenticate. Okay. So that's why it's giving. Okay. Just we'll move with uh, let's see. First, it is diverting to the login page. Am I correct? If there are no securities, I explained to the flow earlier. So if there are no security jars, so basically what it will do, it will directly divert to the controller layer. But if there are security jars, it will divert to the login page. Guys, that's what I explained it earlier. So the user and the password is yes, very patient. Okay. Guys, the password will be auto generated in default security. Okay. 404. I think get all records. Sorry. It's a get all, right? Find all. Sorry. Sorry, guys, I have missed that one. See, because I don't have any data, it's giving me this one. Okay. So this is how the default security works. Okay. First, it will divert to the login page. Once you clear the login page, then it will move to this find all. Okay. This move to the will get the response. Am I correct? Suppose if we go with the incognito tab, what Sumant you're saying? Just a minute, Sumant. Again, it will ask for the login, and because as you know, again, so in the Facebook or Instagram, if you open in a Chrome, it means you can't open in incognito mode, right? Directly. Again, you need to authenticate. The same principle follows here also. Okay. Mhm. So this is the how default security works. Let us move to the custom security. And what is the main difference, Sumant? Default to the default one and security and the custom one. See, like this. Yeah. Sumant, you tell me. Yes, correct. So for custom security, we can give our own username and password. Okay. Again, this is also for single user. Only authentication is possible, but we can give our own username and password. Okay. Other one, Visham. Okay. And the same points apply over here also. Okay. Let me finish in two lines. This one. Uh, Sumant, can you recollect what the two lines we have added in application.yaml file? Yes. Spring Boots. No, Spring dot security dot user dot name. Am I correct? Spring dot security dot user dot name. Okay. Really? Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. Okay. Sunil. And the same thing. Okay. Okay. Now let me stop and restart the server. And now the same login page will come. You need to enter the username and password which you have configured. Okay. Right. So this is nothing but custom security. Okay. So we have done with default and custom security. Right. Now we'll move to the in-memory authentication after this. Okay. Okay. See. So I gave Sunil and Sunil. Right. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Okay. Why changing password? Okay, fine. So this is the example of custom security. Okay. Now the third one, guys. Okay. So this is overview of default and custom security and the introduction part. And I covered what developer need to be do and what framework supposed to do, what framework will do, and what developer supposed to do. Okay. That's how I have explained today. Right. Let me move to the third one, in-memory authentication. Yeah. Tell me, guys, what is your understanding on in-memory authentication? Yes, correct. Authentication, authorization. Okay. Inka, it is not for we can use for limited users. Okay, but not for more number of users as well. Okay, we can use for. So the most common example I used to give, if you take any Gramina banks, okay, in our villages, right? So basically there are 2 to 3 employees and mostly 50 to 100 records. Am I correct for each village? Okay, so we can use for limited number of records. So for this mechanism, okay, at the point. Okay, now before going to the code level, here you need to understand some annotations, okay? Right? Okay, let us see what are the some classes and annotations you need to do. Hmm. Guys, the first technology is you need to aware web security configurer adapter. Guys, power gone just a minute. Hello, guys, are you there? Sumant, hello? Yeah, yeah, power gone. No? Just I was back now. Guys, are you there? Am I audible now? Okay. So first, for in-memory authentication, you need to aware of certain classes and certain annotations. Okay. The first one here is Web Security Configurer Adapter. Okay. Guys, any idea what is this? Oh, I'm not sharing. Huh? See, guys, any idea what is my Web Security Configurer Adapter? I think, okay, fine. This is a Bootstrap class. Uh, Wait, wait. So basically, basically, this is a default security filter chain. Okay, this is default security filter chain. And basically, ఇంతవరకు we haven't used this class explicitly. And internally, this is the one which is doing all the things. Okay, Sumant, and verification of username and password, you know, or and certain endpoints. Okay, this is the one which is dealing. Okay, Sumant. But now we'll extend this class and we'll write our own authentication authorization. Okay, Sumant, is that clear? Hello? Okay, this is a default security filter chain. Okay, by using this, we will customize. By using this, we'll customize the response. Okay, for more number of users. Customize the response. Other number point. Okay, and guys, is that clear? What is web security? If someone is asking, someone is saying default security filter chain means you need to make sure. Okay, web security configurer adapter is nothing but default security filter chain. Am I correct? And next one, at the rate enable web security. This is an annotation, guys. Okay. So the class, whichever is extending web security configure adapter, on top of that class, you need to have this annotation. Okay. At the rate enable web security. Okay. Guys, in a interview, they might ask what are the annotations you worked on Spring Boot security. Okay. So at that time, you can say this at the rate enable web security. Okay. At the bootstrap class, at the bootstrap class, we used to have this annotation. Okay. So the bootstrap class is nothing but whichever the class is extending my web security configure adapter. Okay. The bootstrap class, we used to have this annotation at the class level. Okay, guys. Sumant, is that clear? Ramakrishna, is that clear? Okay. Power back. Next one. HTTP security. Next one. Authentication manager builder. Guys, actually, there won't be any space in between, but for your understanding, I'm giving the space. Okay. Guys, uh, hello? Yeah, authentication manager builder. This is for okay to to make sure okay so and so username has so and so password. Okay, by using this, we'll configure all the users. Okay, am I correct? Am I clear? So this is a custom interface which will validate authentication logic. Other one point. Okay, authentication manager builder means by using this authentication manager builder, you can configure. Okay, Sunil, you are the Sunil has so and so password. Someone has so and so password, and Ramakrishna has so and so password like that. Okay. So this is the thing which functionality is provided by this function provided authentication manager. Guys, am I audible? Hello? Guys, am I audible? Sumant, hello guys, are you there? Sumant? Yeah, sorry Sumant. ఇక్కడ కొంచెం ఇబ్బంది పెడుతుంది ఇంటర్నెట్. ఓకే. Yeah. So these are all the classes which we are going to work in memory authentication. Sumant, is that fine? Web security configurer adapter, at the rate enable web security, and authentication manager builder. Okay. So in okay. So and yeah, I'm sharing my screen. See, Sumant, this points you should make sure it should be in the mind. Okay, always. Okay. Sumant, is that fine? And the last one, HTTP security. Can you guess, Sumant, what this class will do? There is only one functionality left. For that we'll use this one. Okay. Any idea, Sumant, what this class will do? Sumant, guys, are you there? Ramakrishna? Yeah. So see, this HTTP security is there, no? This class will give me the logic for authorization. Is that clear? So authentication manager builder, in short, you remember as AMB. There is a mall now. You can remember, okay? And HTTP security, this class will give authorization logic. Okay. And it will check అనమాట. Okay. Is this admin? Uh, actually he have a access or not. Like that it will check. Okay. And AMB and authentication manager builder will give you the authentication logic. Am I correct? So these are the four classes which we use for implementation of in-memory security. Okay. In-memory authentication. Okay, guys. Is that clear? Okay. Shall we stop over here? Tomorrow we'll complete this and we'll go for next approach. Or actually, I was going tired up, Okay. I thought of completing the code also by today one because I need to write, two methods actually now. Okay. We'll stop over here. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah.